Glowing, amazing, big. For the vast majority of people, coffee is an incredibly good thing. Recipes with spices, with little or a lot of milk, cream with ice cream, with liquor. There is a great variety among the most consumed and more than 60 ways to serve it. Here are some of the most famous and curious. Italy has turned out to be the country with the most coffee shops per capita. It has an average of one coffee shop for every 600 inhabitants. Its famous Café Espresso stands out. This is a coffee for quick consumption, not for sitting down to socialize. It is prepared with a very small amount of water and served in a small, highly flavored cup that is presented with a thick golden cream on the surface. This is the origin of the cappuccino, which is made up of 155 milliliters of cream and 25 milliliters of espresso, but with the addition of cinnamon or cocoa powder. Affogato is also well known. Affogato is a dessert that means drowned. It is drowned under some liquid. It is based on pouring a large espresso over a giant scoop of ice cream, usually vanilla or coconut. When it comes to coffee treats, the Italian chocolate hazelnut biscotti may be the one people like the most in the world around. Its name, biscotti, means cooked twice. It is equivalent to the Spanish sponge cake called bizcocho and the French and English biscuit. The well-known machine called Little Machine or Maquinita or Mocha coffee maker distills coffee for people by passing boiled water pressurized by steam through the ground grain. It is made of aluminum with Bakelite handles, that type of plastic with an excellent thermal resistance. It is considered an international icon. The word mocha comes from the name of the Arabian city in the country Yemen, from where the coffee known as Arabian wine was exported. Highly traded from the 15th to the 18th century until Europeans implanted it in their American colonies and ruined this great original trade. The enormous importance was based on the fact that Yemen in the Arabian Peninsula was the strategic crossroads to the three continents of the Old World, Europe, Africa, and Asia, as well as having direct access to the Mediterranean Sea. Nowadays, Finns consume the most coffee in the world, and curiously, most of them drink it as a very normal, simple coffee filtered at home. Among the main coffee producing countries, we have Brazil with its peculiar Brazilian cappuccino, and at the other end of the world, Vietnam, both agreeing in the preference of consumption with super intense flavors and at the same time strongly sweetened with lots of condensed milk. Another fun fact is that Thailand began to promote its coffee growing in the 1970s, only as a healthy alternative to the cultivation of its controversial and addictive opium drug. In Norway, the traditional way of serving coffee is really unusual for the rest of the world. It consists of placing a coin in the bottom of a cup, then pouring coffee until the coin is covered and cannot be seen, then continuing to pour liquid, but this time transferring liquid until the coin is clear and visible again. In China, an infinity of these are produced, which are even mixed with coffee, thus creating very varied and peculiar infusions. Throughout Spain, the so-called café cortado, that means something like milk cooked into coffee, is the most successful for consumption with a lot of condensed milk. From elsewhere has sprung up international Irish coffee, the Irish coffee, a cocktail made with coffee, whiskey, sugar, and cream, was unveiled in the 40s in the port of Limerick among the passengers of an ocean liner who arrived very tired after being forced to return to Ireland due to strong storms. The drink became a port specialty, and after the war it was brought to the United States by reporters from the San Francisco Chronicle. But how do we prepare the Irish coffee? In a saucepan, heat the whiskey with the brown sugar until it almost comes to a boil. To serve it, use a fairly long glass. Then we put this mixture of whiskey and sugar until it reaches about a third of its volume. Now take 2 cups of coffee, pouring all the coffee over the whiskey until it almost reaches the rim of the extended glass. Then add a thick cream over the coffee, being careful not to mix any liquids. To enjoy an authentic Irish coffee, nothing is stirred with any spoon or stirrer. It is simply drunk through the whipped cream. Remember that cheap whiskey, mediocre coffee, and cream spray will hardly become faithful allies of a real Irish coffee. According to experts, the key secret is to use brown sugar but also white sugar. Specifically, 1 teaspoon of brown sugar and another teaspoon of white sugar for each cup of coffee, because it's the brown sugar that makes the big difference between a good Irish coffee and a great one, as the caramel notes that the brown sugar adds are really what makes it stand out. And yet, they insist it is recommended to use a teaspoon of each type because using only brown sugar could distort its flavor, because it could make it too rich in syrup crystals.